So did you shoot him?
Yes.
What kind of gun did you use?
A Glock 45.
Tonight on News 13, you'll see parts of what the jury saw today of when Dylann Roof confessed to killing 9 people last year inside a Charleston church.
News 13 and 11 starts now.
I went to that church in Charleston. I did it.
You did what?
Well, I killed him. Well, I guess.
And that was part of the video that was released today as part of Dylann Roof's confession to killing 9 people at Emmanuel AME Church last year in Charleston. Today marked day 3 of the federal death penalty trial for Roof, who on the video admits to premeditated murder. Roof's 2-hour-long recorded confession that he gave to FBI agents was played today in court. Among other things, Roof told the FBI that he chose Emmanuel AME in part because it is the oldest black church in the South. And as you will see in this police video, he was caught the next day west of Charlotte up in Shelby, North Carolina. However, it appears as if Roof had not planned to get that far, because on the recording, he told the FBI that he saved 1 bullet. So when he left the church and confronted police, he would kill himself. But the police had not yet gotten there, so he took off. Roof also said that his motive was racial hatred. He told investigators, quote, "I had to do it because somebody had to. Blacks are raping and killing white people on the streets every day." He added, quote, "What I did is still minuscule to what they're doing to white people every day," end quote. However, he also told investigators that a black person never did anything personally to him to hurt him. Roof's attorneys aren't disputing that their client is guilty. They wanted, though, to save him from the death penalty. New at 11, an Amber Alert for an Augusta area teenager was canceled, even though the young lady has not been found. The Columbia County, Georgia Sheriff's Office requested the alert be dropped. Now, we don't know why, but authorities do think that Kala Wasco was abducted by a 37-year-old man, a man who was wanted on child molestation charges. John Hart spoke with Wasco's family.
Funny, outgoing, funny. Fun to be around.
That is how Jason Wheatley describes his sister Kayla, for whom his family has been searching for 4 long days.
It's hard, you know. I sit there and I send her messages and all, and she doesn't respond. You don't know if it's bad, if it's good. You know, obviously it's not too good. The gentleman that she's around, you know, and this gentleman just preyed on her. He said he was, last message that we seen was something along the lines he was going to kill her.
Jason and his family say they'd never heard of suspect Jason Johnson before this happened, but they spent the last 4 days learning everything they can. Jason says his phone goes off nearly non-stop with tips.
Different relationships that he's had is he had molested their daughter. One lady in particular, she went to the sheriff's office and made a report, but unfortunately there wasn't enough evidence for them to have a case. It's been 3 or 4 different ladies that come forward on Facebook with messaging and everything else, stating that he had done it to their children as well.
Jason and his family are holding out hope that Kayla's story has a much happier ending, and he has a simple message for whoever Kayla is with.
You've got a sister as well as I do. All I want to do is see my sister. You can drop her off at a gas station or some public place, and I'll be more than glad to pick her up. You don't have to call me directly. You can call someone else. When she's there, I'll go pick her up. She belongs with us, not with you. So please, just let her come home.
And that was John Hart reporting. Again, the Amber Alert officially canceled. Again, we don't know exactly why, but the teenager's brother, who you just saw, is personally putting up a $500 reward for Kayla's safe return. Certainly, it's cold out there tonight. It's the coldest weather we've had around here in 10 months. Let's go to Frank. And Frank, how long is it going to stick around?
It's going to last into the weekend. We have the cold night tonight. It's still going to be cold tomorrow, and even tomorrow night, temperatures will dip below freezing, starting to warm up on Sunday. Outside right now, temperatures most places in the 20s already, low 30s, just about everybody below freezing already, and temperatures will continue to fall. Not much of a wind, but enough of a light breeze to push wind chills into the 20s in many areas right now. And skies still clear. We will stay clear overnight tonight and we are expecting a lot of sunshine for tomorrow, but it's not going to help with warming us up. Our forecast showing the wind chills and temperatures getting down into the low to middle 20s overnight tonight, and then tomorrow, even with sunshine, it's going to be another day where it feels like it's only in the upper 30s to around 40 degrees, a lot like what we saw today. I'll have more on the warmer weather that will eventually return coming up in a few more minutes.
And don't forget to stay on top of the forecast all the time. You can download our WBTW weather app. It's pretty easy to do. Just search WBTW in your app store. Conway police arrested 5 people on drug charges today. Officers say they were actually just patrolling the area of Hemingway Street when they saw several people under a carport that ran out. Then they arrested them. Here you see the suspects, all 5 charged with trespassing, possession with intent to distribute marijuana, and also possession with intent to distribute near a school. A new national study says U.S. taxpayers could save almost $20 billion a year by not sending so many nonviolent criminals to prison. The study from the Brennan Center for Justice up at NYU says almost 40% of the U.S. prison population, that comes to more than 500,000 people, are in prison with no compelling public safety reason. The study says that they and the public would be better off if they were in treatment, on probation, or doing community service. The study actually points to South Carolina leading the nation in this area, that after state lawmakers passed a sentencing reform law in 2010.
The crime rate is dropping, the recidivism rate is going down. Recidivism rate being the rate of people that come back to prison within 3 years. It has dropped about 3 or 4% over the last 3 or 4 years, or since sentencing reform started.
An outside study says that law saved South Carolina taxpayers almost $500 million. Without it, Sterling says the state would have had to build 3 or 4 new prisons, but instead it's closed 6. Darlington County School Board says that it's going to pay for building 3 new schools, 1 each in Darlington, Lamar, and Hartsville, with money from a penny sales tax that voters approved last month. The board developed a timeline, too, for construction to build the 3 schools, and here's how that timeline looks over the next year. January through February, the board will interview architects. Then February and March, it's planning to review and then hire the new architect. March and April, they'll start selecting the site, and then from May through September, the board plans to begin land surveys. The September through December of this next year, that's when the board will review 3D models, and then finally in January and February of 2018, the board says it will review and hire a contractor. After a year-long planning phase next year, the board will hold public hearings to discuss exact school locations.
The community supported the bond referendum. It's only right that they have a say on a lot of central things that are important to the children of the district.
And speaking of young people, 2 Conway High School students used an assignment to get the community involved to help make Christmas a lot better for children at McLeod Children's Hospital in Florence. Zoe Lewis and Taylor Crocker's project is called Stuffed with Love, and it asks people in the area to give new stuffed animals to children at McLeod. The stuffed animals will be delivered to the kids at McLeod next Saturday, the 17th. If you want to donate to Stuffed with Love, we have a list of the drop-off locations in the Conway and the Myrtle Beach areas on our website, WBTW.com. Also, if you know a young person helping to make our community a better place, let us know about that too. Just send an email with all the details to news@WBTW.com. Just be sure to include Count on Kids in the subject line. Well, it's a big night for the high school football playoffs here in the Eastern Carolinas. All the action coming up in just a minute. And it was cold out on the local fields, but coming up, you're going to see it's much colder in some other parts of the country. Frank?
And we are expecting 20s overnight tonight under clear skies all across the Carolinas, and we will see sunshine across our area tomorrow. But with a warmer weather comes the return of clouds. I'll let you know if we're going to see any rain in our forecast coming up.